She saw leaves on the ground and knew she was in a forest, but was surprised to see that her body was that of a man. She was wearing boots that came to her knees and a long-sleeved shirt. Her description was of a young man in his 20s with long brown wavy hair and a beard and mustache. His eyes were piercing blue. He was busy chopping wood in the forest near where he lived. This seemed to puzzle Linda.
I'm getting the feeling I don't really need to be doing this. Other people would do it for me. But I like to do it because I'm alone and I like the feeling and the exhilaration of the work.
I suggested she see the place where she lived.
It's a castle with a drawbridge and flags flying on the top of the walls. My father is the king.
Then you really don't need to be chopping wood, do you?
No, but it's fun. It makes me feel good. People think I'm crazy.
Why do they think that?
Because I like to work. I do not like the life of the court. It is so superficial. When you work with your hands, you feel a sense of accomplishment that nothing else can give you.
His name was Bartholomew and he lived in the castle with his family, and many, many other people including servants. It's quite a large community. They all live within the walls. At least you don't get lonely, do you?
Oh, yes. They do not care about me. They do not know my interest for learning. They care not for knowledge. I'm happy in my own way.
The situation in his country was not peaceful. There was danger, and they had to stay close to the castle walls.
The peasants want to not. They are not treated very well. And so you cannot go outside without an escort.
What does your father think of the way the people are behaving?
It is his fault. He is not very kind. He does not try to help them. He only uses them for his benefit.
You said you were interested in knowledge. Do you have a certain type of knowledge that you like to study?
I like to study the stars. The universe. And that is why people think I am mad.
How do others perceive the stars in your time period?
As just twinkling little pieces of the moon.
Aren't there other people in your time that like to study the stars?
Only one. He is my friend.
Is he the one that helped you to learn these things?
Yes. He knows. He is not from here. But he is very old, and soon he will leave me.
But maybe he can pass on his knowledge.
Yes, that is what he is doing at this time. And it is a very big responsibility that I must carry when he leaves. Then it will be mine. I have to learn and pass it forward so that it will not die and be lost. It must not be lost.
What type of knowledge of the stars is it?
It is the knowledge of the universe. All of God's creation, not just of this earth, but of many, many, many universes. And stars that are so far away that we humans cannot even conceive of where they are. This man that I study with has been to many places. And he has come here to gift me with this knowledge in the hopes that my mind will give it forward for the future people to come. So they will not be afraid.
You said the old man came from somewhere else?
Yes. He came from the Pleiades.
He did? Where is that?
It is in the Milky Way. Very far from here.
Doesn't that seem impossible?
No. He came here on a beam of light. Which is very hard for me to understand.
I think it would be. When you first met this man, did you find these ideas hard to believe?
No. I knew they were so. There are many things that are created that we humans do not understand. We can only feel they are so, in our hearts.
What does this man look like?
He is very old. He is bent over, has white hair and wears a robe. A very plain old man.
Where does he live?
I don't know. He just comes to me. Wherever I happen to be, he just comes to me.
How is he able to do that?
I don't know. At first I thought he was magic, but I don't think that's right. I think he has powers I do not conceive of at this time, because my intellect is not advanced enough for me to understand.
How is magic viewed by the average person in your time period?
It is a way of life here. There are wizards, but they are fake. My father puts great store in these people. They are not who they say they are.
It would seem he would be interested in your friend.
No, because I cannot tell them of this man. His existence would be threatened.
Have you been studying with this man for a long time?
I have been studying for 5 years now. I was 20.
What did you think when he first came to you?
I thought, why me? I need peace. I do not need this. I was sitting in the forest under a tree, contemplating my life. And when I opened my eyes, he was standing right in front of me. I asked him who he was. And he said to me, I have come from a very far distance to teach you things you cannot conceive of being. So I said to him, what makes you think I want to learn these things? And he said to me, because it is destined to be. And because of this you will learn them.
As if you had no choice.
That's what I said to him. I will do what I damn well please. And he said to me, yes, and you will please to learn.
He sounds like an interesting man. Did it take very long to convince you?
No. I knew in my heart that this was so.
Even though it was strange. And he's been coming for about 5 years now, wherever you are?
Yes. Most every day. He does not let me rest very often, because there is so much I must know. He told me when he leaves me I must find a prodigy who is much younger than me. And in this way the knowledge will live. I cannot write this material down.
Why not?
Because of the dangers of it being destroyed. It must be a living knowledge passed from one generation to another. And only chosen ones are allowed to have this knowledge. I feel very thankful and fortunate to be the chosen one in my time.
It is a great responsibility.
It is a great honor, yet I feel the weight of this honor presses very hard on my soul.
Then you are to remember what he says and not write it down?
No, I cannot write it down. It will be stored in my intellect, and when I find my prodigy it will all be recalled, as if by magic. It will come in the proper sequence, so that this prodigy will understand exactly the knowledge he needs to have. And then he will store it just as I have. It is not allowed to be written.
Don't you think there's a danger of forgetting some of it?
No. The intellect is very vast. People do not understand the intellect.
Isn't there the danger, as it is passed from one generation to the next, that there could be distortion?
No, because there is something that keeps it intact in the intellect.
I'm thinking of how people are. They change information over long periods of time.
But this is stored in a very special place, and can only be drawn upon at the proper moment. I cannot discuss this with anyone at will. It is only discussed in the proper time, and then that portion of the intellect is tapped for the information.
But is it all right if you talk to me of these things? Yes, because I pose no threat to you?
That's right.
Did he come specifically to see you, or has he been living on the earth?
He came for me only. I don't think others can see him. Others hear me talking to him, and that's why they consider me to be mad. They do not see him.
That would be confusing, wouldn't it?
Yes, but that's all right. I know I'm not mad. We are very isolated where I live. There are not many people in this area. We live very far away from most other kingdoms.
Have you been taught any kind of religious belief?
We believe. Only magic. Fire. God of fire is very powerful.
Is this part of what the wizards teach? Is this why your father believes in these?
Yes. He's very misled.
Then this information is not for him, is it?
No. He could not conceive of these things. He could not accept them. I must travel very far.
Have you been told this?
Yes. When my teaching is finished I will have to travel very, very far away to find a prodigy to give this knowledge. I will never return to my forest. That's why I have to enjoy it now.
Wouldn't you be able to find someone suitable where you live? How do you feel about leaving?
Very sad.
Are you the heir to the kingdom?
No, I am the youngest. If I were the heir, I would not have been chosen to do this work.
You would have other responsibilities.
Yes. And since I have none, I can go.
I am very interested in the information that you are being given. But let's leave that scene, and I want you to move ahead in time to an important day. A day when something that you consider to be important happens. What is it? What do you see?
I am in the universe. I am on a journey. I am on a sightseeing mission.
How is this occurring?
I was asked to go on this mission, that I might give my opinions to others in a land far away. I am traveling very fast, but it seems not so. It seems as if there is no movement.
How are you traveling?
Lamina capsule.
What is that?
It is a round affair.
Is it very large?
It's just a very small oval room. No, a small oval section of light. And there's no one in this place but me. I'm not driving it. It just travels by itself.
Are you seated inside?
I am standing, but I could sit down if I wished.
Then it's large enough for you to stand up in it?
Yes. It has a window in it. An opening, but you can't put your hand through it.
Why not?
Because there is a covering of some kind that doesn't allow you to go outside of it. But it enables you to see what is around you on the other side.
This has occurred repeatedly when I have regressed someone to the time period of the Middle Ages. They do not know what glass is. It must have been uncommon during that time because this is a repeatable pattern. When such remarks are repeated, they have validity because the subject does not know what the other people have reported. These are some of the little things I have learned to watch for. What are you seeing through the opening?
I am seeing it's very dark out there. Very dark indeed, very black, very peaceful. And occasionally I will see things floating about me. There's not much color here, like on Earth. Very black and gray. Not much color at all.
What type of things do you see floating by?
Oh, I see formations of black rock sometimes.
How did you get in this little place?
I was sleeping and I was awakened and asked if I would come. And I said, of course. And then I went to sleep again. And then I was aware I was in this little room. I don't know how I got here. All I know is I just consented to come and then I was here.
Was it your friend that asked you?
No. He said he knew my friend, but he was from another place in the universe. Not the Pleiades. On the other side of the Pleiades. He was from a planet called Mycon? I never heard of that place.
What did that person look like?
He was little, very little. He had no hair. He had a very large round head.
Could you see what his face looked like?
I don't remember if he had a face. I only remember his head being very large and very round. And his body being very little. And I wondered at the time how he kept his balance, because of the largeness of his head.
Of course, it was night, and it was difficult to see his features anyway. Would that be right?
No. Because he was silver. Bright. Silver-colored, and he was bright.
You mean he was shining?
Yes. That was why I couldn't see his face, because it was too bright. And I was sleepy, and I couldn't see. I am wearing a big belt. A big belt on my waist. It is very thick and very warm, and it is silver also. It has compartments around the front of me, like pouches. I am wondering why I am wearing this belt, and what purpose it is serving. It is not leather though. It is very soft, it is not hard. It doesn't feel like anything that I know. There is no beginning to this belt, no buckle. And I don't remember putting it on me. This distresses me a little.
Is there anything in the pouches?
They feel like they have things in them, but there is no opening, so I can't see in them. I guess I'll be told soon why I have this belt on my body.
It won't bother you. It's just a curiosity.
Yes, it is. It is very strange, this feeling. I feel like my stomach is expanding underneath the belt.
But it's not an uncomfortable feeling?
No. It's very light, very light.
Are you wearing your ordinary clothes underneath the belt?
No. They made me leave them in my room. It's shiny. I don't know what this stuff is. The garment is very light, and it encompasses my whole body. I have these shoes on. They are not boots, they are shoes. And it is all together. It is all one. I'm encased in it. I do not have a hat on though.
Is there anything on the walls, or is the room bare?
Let me see. There is a huge window.
This is different than the little opening?
No, this is the opening. It's very long. I'm wondering where the door is. I do not see one.
It just gets curiouser and curiouser, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I wonder where I am going.
As soon as he wondered this, the answers began to come. They seemed to be coming from somewhere else, because it was as though he was repeating what he was hearing. It was new information to him.
They tell me it won't take long. I am going to visit a new place where people have gone to start a new life. And the reason that I am going there is to find my prodigy. I am going to find my prodigy. I have been searching for such a long time.
You haven't found him on Earth?
No. I have looked everywhere, and I am very old now. And I was so afraid I would not find him in time. That is where I am going. I am going to this new place to find my prodigy.
Would you be willing to share the knowledge you have been taught, not only with your prodigy, but with me?
I will have to ask first. I cannot do this unless I ask.
All right. If I come again at another time and speak with you, would you have time to ask and get permission?
Yes, I will ask.
Maybe you can share it with two prodigies that way, because I am also very curious.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh, that would be twofold. Wouldn't that be marvelous?
So I would like it if you would ask permission and then I can come again and discuss it.
That would be nice. I was very worried that this knowledge would be lost. And I felt so happy that I would be finding my prodigy. But it very much disturbed me that my knowledge would be lost to this earth. And that would be a shame, because even though the people here are very primitive and do not care about such things, this knowledge should remain.
I agree. I'm going to ask you to continue on your journey. I'm not going to interfere with Bartholomew's journey. But I want the other part of you that I am speaking to leave that scene, and drift forward in time.